We were here with episode 6 of Journey to a Million. We go over some coaching vacancies, game picks like usual, some GM vacancies, kind of just talk about the playoffs. And there was history made last week in the wildcard round of the playoffs. The Bills are the first team to have 7 drives, 7 touchdowns. I think that's all time, right? Or is it just playoffs? I don't know. I probably should have been a little bit more prepared for that, but do you guys know? Or
I'm not sure, but I was more excited about the second ever MVP being given out. And, congrats to Dak Prescott and winning his first ever MVP award. So, I mean, that's going to add to his resume, which, of not winning many playoff games. How many playoff games has he won? I don't even – is he at –
one?
Yeah, one.
Maybe
right?
one.
Maybe one, maybe not any.
I don't know.
So, looking at it, he's got a trophy now.
There's a reason there's the sad cowboy fan meme that kind of blew up on social media like over the last day. Do you guys see that? The story behind that?
I don't know.
I didn't actually. No.
So there's a guy that's pictured at the Cowboys game. He's all sad, like hugging his girlfriend. Well, it turns out his other girlfriend got flooded with like DMs and messages from like people she knew. And the guy told her that he was going on like a boys trip or guys trip. And he was actually going to the game with his other significant other or his side piece. So he kind of got caught cheating on national TV. And she posted something on her Instagram story calling him out on it. So everyone kind of knows now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's an interesting story.
Wow.
Going back to the MVP you're talking about, Zach, you said you didn't watch Nickelodeon, right?
Of course not. Why would anyone watch that?
What?
So I started watching Nickelodeon, right? I saw it, and then as soon as they slimed the field before the game, I was like, I can't handle this, so I switched right over to the actual game.
Exactly.
Am I the only one who finds joy in the SpongeBob field goals when we see SpongeBob's face and then he smiles when it's made? Like, come on, this is football. This is what, I don't know what you guys not seeing it. It was certainly a great broadcast all in all, and they give out great awards at the end of the games, like an MVP trophy. Come on. And then also just with the slime zone, and we saw, 49er players get slimed after the game, right? So, if you're talking about,
you can't call that slime. That was like a teaspoon of slime dumped on his head.
Yeah. Watching the Nickelodeon version is like choosing Coke over Pepsi. It's just not something you do.
We did have a soda debate before we recorded, full disclosure. So that is kind of where that.
I bet you 90% of the audience, 90% would take Coke over Pepsi.
We should get a little vote going.
We can make a poll on this. So if you want to check our Twitter out, JD Sports Pod, we'll have a poll up, Coke or Pepsi. So, check that out. It'll be Journey Million.
Drew,
what?
We need your vote. We need your vote here.
Coke or Pepsi? I'm going to go Coke. Yeah.
Like I thought. No one chooses Pepsi. No one does.
Audience got to come through.
Yeah,
Pepsi. You guys better vote Pepsi.
All right. So with that, guys, we talked a little bit about that Cowboys game already, but let's go to Wildcard Weekend. Let's revisit all the great games we saw not in Wildcard Weekend. Let's start, with the first game we saw. We saw it was the Bengals game, and it was, Bengals and Raiders. And that game ended up a 26-19 win for the Bengals, and that ends their long playoff drought. So that was a great win for the Bengals. Were you guys able to catch some of that game? And what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. It was probably one of the better games of Wildcard Weekend. It was good though. We saw Jamar Chase have a typical game. Joe Burrow proved himself to be a top 10, maybe even top 5 right now quarterback. He had a great game. It was just a good Bengals team, and I'd be scared if I was a Titans fan coming in having to play the Bengals right now.
Zach?
So, were you guys impressed with the Bengals or the Raiders?
I
Like,
was.
were you impressed with either of them?
Derek
Obviously,
Carr
Raiders
kind of
lost,
impressed
but
me. Derek Carr impressed me how he could drive. Like
Well,
he had a decent game.
I think we look the Raiders were, one bad call almost like, almost to win this game. I'm not gonna like they could have still got a field goal, but I don't know. This was really a statement win, let's say, by the Bengals, but certainly a good win over a team like the Las Vegas Raiders. And yeah, I certainly think the Bengals were the better team, and the Bengals won. So at the end of the day, content with that. Zach, anything else with that?
no, I liked how the Bengals played. I thought they were gonna put up a couple more points, but it happens. Don't always have
They
the
didn't.
30
They didn't
point
need to.
leads.
I guess.
Yeah, they did what they need to do to win.
Let's
You
talk
still agree that Jefferson is better than Chase?
Ooh,
After what I said last week about like Chase just kind of being a home run like receiver,
Yeah.
he kind of went out there and did the exact opposite. What I said he
What do you have,
never
like
really
9
does.
catches?
9.
I think he had like 9
Yeah.
for 100 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still taking Jefferson.
Okay.
I was
I'm with
impressed
Zach.
with Chase though.
I am with Zach on this same stance. Still very impressed with Chase. Certainly,
But it's getting
top guy.
tighter. It's getting closer.
Oh yeah, and you gotta still acknowledge. I think you gotta acknowledge the QB talents each receiver has. I think that plays
Very
a factor too. And look at a guy like Burrow compared to Kirk Cousins. I think that's certainly something to acknowledge. But yeah, certainly two are gonna be top guys for the years to come. And you guys will move on to our next game in Wildcard Weekend.
Go for it.
Here we go. New England, the 6th seed, visited the Bills, and
Here we go.
oh boy, that was quite a game to not watch.
Or you can start us off on this one. You had the
who's
Patriots.
Who's the one that picked the Patriots?
Listen. I picked the Pats, and I know the game I picked. Looking at the game they beat them in, I mentioned it. I said, it was wind. We saw Mac Jones throw a whopping like 3 times at Allen. It totally, made sense not to pick them. But I mentioned Patriots having defense as their strong suit.
And how did that look?
Didn't look great. And I had a lot of questions with the Bills' run defense. On it with like Damian Harris and that like balanced backfield for the Patriots, and it certainly didn't look well. I talked about I called it my upset pick, and certainly that's why I called it an upset pick. And one of them I made 2 of them. One of them turned out right, but this was certainly not one to be proud of. So I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, as I said last week, the Bills are they're my Super Bowl pick, and I think I got to kind of stick with them, right?
Yeah,
and they look pretty good. So
yeah,
can't be mad with that. I don't know how much we're going to talk about this game. It's blowout from the start. Belichick's worst loss for his career in the postseason. So if you look at it, just not a good game for the Patriots overall. And talk about now. Yeah, the Bills, they're looking great, and now they go to Kansas City, right? So which we'll talk about in our divisional round games. But with that, you guys want to move on to the Sunday games then? Because that wrapped up the Saturday of the Wild Card Weekend. So let's go. Sunday. Noon game on Fox. Number 7, the Eagles, they go to Tampa to face the Buccaneers. And, this was Zach's upset. Well, Zach, it wasn't really upset, but Zach mentioned how, Eagles could really, maybe open some eyes here, and they really didn't. No,
they opened some eyes, but it wasn't the right kind of eyes.
Yeah,
I want to mention Zach said that immediately after I said this is going to be a blowout game. He said they're going to keep it close.
That was what, a 2-score game?
Oh, come on, that touchdown was scored. They got 2-point conversion last 5 minutes. No,
this was a 2-score game.
It ended up being
16.
a 2-score game. It really was. It felt like a 3 or 4 score game, to be honest. So, Buccaneers played. They dominated. Miles Sanders, we mentioned him possibly doing well. I think he finished with 19 yards rushing, maybe. So certainly just
he had less than 10 attempts, didn't he?
Maybe
I think
9.
he had 9 for 17 or something like that.
Oh yeah, because he had some for loss. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I watched a good chunk of this game. Missy Jalen Hurts just under center. It was he's gonna be great for years to come, but he's not ready yet for a team like the Bucs in the playoffs. And yeah, Devontae Smith, they had him open for a good chunk of plays or some plays, and they weren't throwing him the ball. And when they did, it was a lot of just like they would work horizontal, more of this West Coast kind of offense from left to right. And it really, working against the Bucks didn't work all too well, I'd say.
I want to say something. I don't know if you guys agree. Watching Jalen Hurts play, he reminded me a lot of Jordan Love. I don't know if you guys could see that at all. Just kind of dump off passes for a few yards. I don't know. He's the same, like, mobility-wise, I see.
I take
just like
Hurts.
No, Hurts is a lot more mobile.
I would take Hurts. Yeah. He just reminded me of, like, a little better Jordan Love.
I think both games that, like, if you compare both of them in that kind of setting, I think both coaches call plays similar to like match their skill set. So I think in that terms, similar plays were ran where we saw LaFleur, call plays for Jordan Love. I think certainly similar. I would agree with that. Just watching them play with Hurts on Sunday, I would agree. I don't know. Zach, what do you think?
I think I still think it's like a little too early to really judge Love, but I mean, obviously we've only seen him a game and a half or whatever, but I think Hurts is a lot more mobile, but accuracy, I'd say they've probably been about the same so far, but maybe once Jordan Love gets a little more confidence, he'll be better, but I think Love has more upside.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And looking at the next game here, this was the upset I predicted right, actually. So number 6, the 49ers, they go to Dallas to face the Cowboys on Nickelodeon. Who cares about the CBS broadcast? It was on Nickelodeon. That's all that matters. And boy, oh boy, this was a great game. I thought it was that ending was something else. And just we'll have Zack start here, just game thoughts, and then we'll all kind of talk together about the ending. So, Zack, what do you think?
Did we all pick the 49ers in this game?
I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we never really set our records for the week, but we can do that after. I was impressed with the 49ers. I mean, their defense really came out to play. Their run game, obviously, Jimmy G actually looked decent, which usually he has some just throws that he's kind of questioning what he's doing, but he played pretty well. He had like one or two overthrows that looked kind of bad, but overall, I'd say a good performance. And I'm kind of worried about them for the Packers this week, but we'll have to see how that goes.
Zack, I could tell you we both got 100%, and then Drew only got that one wrong for this last week's picks.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I knew what I got. I know what you guys got.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't, if I was a Packer fan, I wouldn't be too scared of the 49ers. Obviously that happened 2 years ago, but they have like their record is a lot, like they're better than their record is by far with like injuries that hit them with Kittle and, Jimmy G. But I don't know. I think the Packers will take care of that game handily. But I do want to talk about Drew's two risky picks that he had. He had Garoppolo 0.5 picks. That happened. And then Deebo Samuel 1 touchdown or 0.5 touchdowns. He hit on both of those.
Oh, yeah. That was a $7.20 5 leg that turned into $72. So certainly I was over I was going to bring that up near the end here because it focused on a few other games. It was all games Wildcard Weekend. It was just 5 legs, and yeah, chose those both, and they both happened, and it was fun to watch. So talking then, yeah, this game though, that ending, guys, with Dak Prescott. Well, they're playing, they're protecting the sidelines. We see Dak then do a little QB draw up the middle, and they would have had time to spike it, but official gets in the way. The official has to touch the ball, keep in mind. So the center looking, I believe it was Biotish, Wisconsin alumni the center. So, if you got to realize there that the referee has to touch the ball. So that was certainly an error on that there. And I know they wanted to get the playoff as soon as possible, but just got to keep in mind the rules. And what did you guys think of that play call at the end?
Can I just talk about that ref really quick? Earlier in the game, I don't know if you guys saw that, but there was like like Dallas did a late substitution onto the field, and there was like 5 seconds left on the play clock, and the ref was just standing there, like kind of like holding off, like wait, we can't snap the ball yet. And then they snapped it like after the play clock went off, and they got called for a delay game. That was the same ref that had that thing at the end happen to him. So I see a lot of, I mean, obviously, like you have to give the ball to the ref, but the ref has to take some credibility there too, because like that was 2 plays that he messed up that both resulted against the Cowboys.
Just at the end, he really didn't. He didn't really mess up the play at the end. I mean, they spotted the ball. He had to go up there, touch it, and spot it himself because they spotted it wrong. And when he was going through, they were just in his way, and he ran into him. So I'd say last play is all on the Cowboys. They just messed that up. There's a fine play call.
Mostly on the Cowboys. Yeah.
Like 99% on the Cowboys. They just messed up how they ran that.
I didn't see a lot
of
sense
of play. I didn't see the other play.
Well,
so
I didn't see a lot of sense of urgency from really that official to make that happen. It didn't seem like, watching him get stuck. It's like, I got stuck, and it was so that's where I'll agree. It's still on the Cowboys for calling that. They thought they could pull it off, but you got to keep in mind if you're going to do it. My thought was, why don't you tell the official? I mean, there's a timeout, I think, before, like you could have told the official, like, hey, we plan to do that. You know what I mean? I think if you would have like let them know, we see this happen in baseball. Where, hey, I want to do the hidden ball trick, let the guy know. And usually that's how that'll work out in your favor. So I think if that would have been done, I think maybe it was done, but I think maybe if it was done though, for sure, we would have probably seen them be able to get off one more play, I think.
And if you're that, you go, Zach.
And obviously, like even if they did get it off, it doesn't guarantee them a win. They still had one play to go 25 yards, score a touchdown. So.
Yeah.
Did it change the outcome of the game? Probably not. Was there a chance that they did get it? Yeah, there's a chance, but.
And if you're that ref, like Drew said, with the sense of urgency, if I'm that ref, like I would see, him doing a draw, and I'm the ref that has to put the ball, like you know what I mean. So I would be the guy the ref running up to the ball, like kind of like as fast as I can. He was kind of like staying back, and then as soon as they tried getting on the ball, he sprinted up. So he was kind of like falling behind. If I have to spot the ball, I would, get there because they're going to try to blame you for it. Obviously, it wasn't all his fault, but,
But also, like with recently, there's obviously a big thing. Everyone gets mad at the refs when they miss a call or something like that. So everyone's kind of saying the game shouldn't be in the refs' hands. Well, the Cowboys put the game in the refs' hands. They knew it was going to be within a second or two, and they trusted the ref to do it. And at that point, you just got to take 2 shots to the end zone and hope you get one.
That's what I was thinking. I thought with 14 seconds left, you got 2, maybe 3 more plays you can run. 2 shots at the end zone for sure. It was an awful call. But Mike McCarthy did say that there should have been enough time for them to run another play, but you don't know that. You don't know what's going to happen. I think Dak went a little longer than he was supposed to. I think he was supposed to slide a little earlier, but. It was just a bad call.
Do you guys think that hurts Kellen Moore's chances at a head coaching job? You think it's got to hurt a little bit, right?
I'm sure a little bit. Not. Yeah. I wouldn't say that defines his name.
Yeah, I'm looking through right now with the referee explaining the 49ers Cowboys controversial final play still, and just to see, because we saw that crew with the Raiders Bengals game. They're not officiating any more games this postseason, so wanted to see kind of the stances here. And right now the officials and the NFL, they're siding with how it was officiated at the end, how they took proper procedure and protocol, which I would agree they did. Just the sense of urgency, like we mentioned, but they don't really mention anything about that. So I wanted to just check that out. So. Yeah,
the Bengals Raiders thing was completely different because that's an actual rule that they just didn't enforce in the game. So I'd say that's also 2 totally different things.
Do you see Dak got fined for what he said after the game? $25,000 for saying that good for them for throwing their fans throwing the stuff at the refs or whatever. I think that this Cowboy. No, he should have been fined. You can't. I mean, it was funny, but you can't say that.
You can't say that stuff. Yeah.
No.
We also saw Bruce Arians get fined too, $50,000. I don't know if you guys saw that. Slap the helmet
for slapping his player.
I don't know my stance on that. I don't, because that, you always talk about in coaching and whatnot, good touch versus bad touch. And, if you want to consider that way, you consider it. Cause I don't know if it was like a, come on, go get them kind of slap or like do better kind of slap. And that's,
There's something that came out that he wanted, was it Mike Adams or what was his name? Or something like that. Mike Davis. Whoever the safety was, there's like an actual reason that came out that you wanted him to like not touch the ball or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but it was like an actual reason within the game. So I don't know if he should have got fined for that, but
well, at first he like slapped the player and the announcers. I think it was Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Were they on that game?
Yep.
Yeah. They're just like, oh, Bruce Arians is into it, and then like when they looked at it again, he's like, oh, I don't know what Arians is doing there. Is he like they were confused too? It looked like at first he was just like kind of like, good job, like congratulating him, but then after it looked like he was like slapping him, like, what are you doing, kind of a thing,
That's certainly something, we always see appeals and stuff, and maybe not trying to judge it because we don't know. I know Zach's mentioned some report, but you don't know how it was. So hopefully, if it was something that was not, if it was something good, hopefully it gets all squared away. But with the appeals, so do you guys want to go back then and finish up our wild card weekend? We got one more or two more games left. My bad.
Okay, yeah. I just Googled it quick. Aaron said he was trying to prevent Adams from getting a penalty for pulling Eagles players off the pile following that muffed punt. That's what it was.
I don't know. I don't know what I think then of the decision to fine him, $50K. I think that's.
Yeah. Was it 50?
It was 50.
Yeah.
It was 25 more than
this
Dak.
double what Dak got. Yeah. So
yeah, their whole fine system has just been, messed up. I don't know. I've never
inconsistencies is how it's been explained, and I know. Yeah. Okay, so let's move. We got two more games left here. Pittsburgh Steelers, the 7th seed, go to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. I had Big Ben a completion line in that 5-leg one that Jared brought up, and it hit. I believe it was over 24.5. Like it was 29. And I got to credit Zack with that one. That was when I was on the fences with. So I went to the Journey to a Million, one of the co-hosts, and I was like, hey, Zack, what do you think about this? And he gave me the right one. So I got to credit him getting me that last leg of the parlay. So, but
that's the thing with Big Ben, though. That's the thing. He just does like dump offs. He's going to get his completions, but he's not going to put up the numbers,
Well, they were close. They were up like 7-0 in the second quarter. So
because of TJ Watt.
I mean, not like the offense did anything, but they were up.
Yeah, and sounds like, listening to Big Ben's post-game press conference, he's done. It was thank God for the ability to be able to throw a football, and he was just thanked his teammates and Pittsburgh as a city and just Steeler Nation. So that was good to see. But certainly a tough way to close out your career, though, here in the wild card weekend.
Do we talk about their
time?
Do we talk about their QB competition for next year?
We did not. You want to touch on it right now?
Yeah. So obviously they got Mason Rudolph, but they also got Dwayne Haskins, who apparently has been opening the eye of Mike Tomlin. And then they're expected to bring in some rookie competition or something. So I'm not sure if that means like Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis or something like that. But I think it's. I saw a report that
said they weren't going to trade for anyone. They were going to just draft a quarterback.
They weren't going to trade multiple firsts for a quarterback, established one. So
see, this is tough for me because this is not the year for in my eyes to go out and get a quarterback. I think if you wait a year or two, this isn't the year right now. So interesting decision by Steeler Nation there. I would be personally, but again, you have with the team you have right now. You got TJ Watt still on that defense, and you gotta get.
So what would you do?
Do
you just want to say what we do if we're Steelers? Like, would you go trade for someone, draft someone, stick with what you have?
They have the weapons. I mean, they have most things they need. They just need a quarterback, and it's just like I don't trust Mason Rudolph. I mean, he played. He's known for that.
Miles Garrett.
Yeah. And then Haskins, he was dropped, right? Was he cut last? Was it last year?
Last offseason, I think.
Last offseason, yeah. So I I mean, I didn't think Haskins was awful. I mean, he looked okay, but out of the two, I would say Haskins, but I don't know.
So you'd stick with what they have?
Unless there's a better option. I don't see a better option here.
I think you gotta if you go out and draft a guy, you gotta look, you're not gonna have that, TJ Watt and that talented receiving core. Like, I can't say rebuild because you would be getting rid of Big Ben right now. You got the pieces right now. You got with Najee, you got Deontay Johnson, Claypool, those guys all around him. And I think you go for it, and I think going for it, maybe you trade for a guy, I don't know who. Again, that's tough because we don't know Russell Wilson's status, and I don't know if you'd want to bring him to Pittsburgh. That's just one I think of right off the top of my head. But they certainly, have the weapons on offense. So if you bring in a quarterback better than Big Ben, late career Big Ben, I think that would certainly be beneficial for this team.
I would stick with what you have for this year and then think about next year. Just because their offensive line, I think they really need their picks and all the capital they have for that. I mean, they do have a lot of cap room this offseason. I believe they got to re-sign Minka, and they got a couple other people they got to re-sign. So that would probably take a hit. But
if you were a Steelers fan, would you say the same thing?
I mean, I don't know. That'd be tough. But if you don't have an O-line, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is.
But then you're basically just saying, okay, we'll take this year off just to kind of get some more experience, and then
you can't do that with TJ Watt.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be that bad though. I think they'd be maybe a game or two worse than they were this year. Big Ben, he wasn't really there. He didn't drive that offense.
If you're told going into the year,
their receivers.
If your expectations are to go maybe 8 and 9.
8 and 9.
Yeah. Are you gonna be okay, yeah, I'll take that? Or do you go out and try to better your team now with the talent that they have?
But I'm just saying, if they want to be actual Super Bowl contenders, their line isn't going to make it.
I don't think that they could do that. I don't think they could do that in the next year or two to be Super Bowl contenders.
I think they could draft some linemen. I think in this draft, I agree with Zach. You pick up some linemen, and I think you go out and get a guy. And you're you may ask what do you trade? And if you're drafting some,
I could see maybe a Jimmy G or Kirk Cousins, but I don't think they're going to go after a Russell Wilson or something that's going to require 3 first-round picks.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think just getting a guy. I like the Jimmy G one with Trey Lance being maybe their future.
I think Jimmy G might be a comparable trade to Carson Wentz, a conditional second first rounder.
Kind of a guy that's decent, that'll get the job done, but not someone that'll cost picks.
Yeah,
I could see. So. Yeah, I mean Jimmy G, if he is leaving, I mean it depends how they do this year. Obviously, if he leads his team to the Super Bowl, I'm sure he's not leaving. We still got to know how everything's going to go.
For sure. And I just want to bring up one more thing. I just saw here TJ Watt, he admitted to using his cell phone during halftime of the Ravens game.
Yeah.
To check sack total. So I want to point that out. He might be facing punishment by the NFL. So you can't check your phone during halftime, I guess. They're not allowed. Here we go, guys. One more game. The first ever NFL game on MLK Day. Here it is. We had the Rams and the Cardinals, and wow, what a interesting game that was. 34-11, Rams get the dub. It wasn't even close. Certainly, we saw Kyler Murray's inexperience, it seemed, in the playoffs, and Rams dominated. It felt start to finish. So, Jared, we'll start with you. What'd you see out of this Monday night game?
I just felt with the Cardinals in general, just ever since Murray came back from his injury, it just seemed different. Their team was just, and then Hopkins got hurt, obviously, but I think they were 3-4 in their last 7, something like that. I don't know. I just watching the Cardinals, all I could think of is I heard a point. It's they lost to the Lions by 20, right? I thought that they would just rebound, but it was just an ugly game. It looked like Kyler Murray was like a rookie and he didn't have any experience, and he just didn't look good at all. It was just an ugly game. I don't know. It was hard to watch.
If you look at Cliff Kingsbury's career stats, second half of the season, he has like a winning percentage of like 300 or like 350. And like first half, it's like 600 or something like that. So I don't know if it might be a little bit Kyler Murray and his injury and everything, but I think it's also Cliff Kingsbury. I mean,
yeah, because it's not like they played harder teams. It's not like they played harder teams in the second half of the season. You know, they lost to the Lions and teams like that. So it's like, I don't know.
Is he on the hot? That's a good question, Zach.
Yeah, is he?
You know, he might be. Look, if you look at, but you got to still consider what he's done there. I think you give him at least one more year. But I certainly agree. You know, you got to start looking with that team. You know, time's ticking. You got J.J. Watt. Well, that's certainly a guy who, I mean, he's getting up there in age right now, and I mean, I know it's one guy.
You've seen his injury problems too.
Yeah,
I've seen his injury problems last couple of years. So,
but certainly the hourglass is running out for the Cardinals, even though they got young. I mean, they have a young duo with Murray and Hopkins, but I don't know. I question that with Rams the dominating win here. So certainly, tough way to go out for the Cardinals, I'd say. So, anything else on that game? You guys want to mention, thankfully, update on Budda Baker. He is A-OK. That was certainly a worrisome moment there. I was praying for that guy, and thankfully he's all good now. So I saw a photo on the team jet, I think it was. He had his thumbs up and he was smiling. So that's good to see, guys. And anything else with that?
OBJ, do I want to talk about that?
PED tested?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just saying, like, in Cleveland and the difference. I mean,
no, I want to talk about him getting tested for PEDs. Yeah, that was funny. He has one good game, and it's like, okay, we're gonna test you today. Your appointment's this time.
All right, guys, to the divisional round we go. First game, let's go. 4-1 now in the AFC. The 10-7 Cincinnati Bengals go play the Titans. 12-5. Tennessee is favored -3.5. So with them being home, really half-point favorites if we look at it like that. And 3:30 p.m. and kickoff Central Time. And Jared, why don't you kick us off here with your thoughts on this Bengal and Titan clash in the playoffs?
Honestly, I said earlier that the Titans should be scared to play the Bengals, and I stand by that. I think the Bengals are better than what people see in them, and I don't think the Titans really. I mean, although they played well the second half of the season, they weren't as good without Henry, and now he's back, obviously. But I think he's going to be a little, rusty coming off, his injury and everything. So I'm actually going to take the Bengals here in a close game.
Drew, you want to go next?
You're making me go? Come on. And Derrick Henry then, is right. He's not. Is he going to be active, ready for the game?
Yeah, he's going to be playing.
We're gonna okay. Because I know there was a lot of question with him. Of course, if they would have played a Wildcard Weekend, his availability in Week 18, he was not available, right? But he was off practicing.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to get that squared away before I make my pick. So, yeah, they got Derrick Henry, and Titans, come in with that extra week of rest. Bengals certainly looking like a promising team to upset, looking like an upset that looks pretty good here. But I'm gonna go Titans here. I think they're just an impressive team. I like Mike Vrabel, so I'm gonna go with him there.
I'm going Titans as well. Their
go.
Defense is really underrated this year. If you look back, they've made some really good quarterbacks look not good. So I think Titans are going to win.
All right.
Titans barely beat the 49ers earlier, like a couple of weeks ago, too, by like 3 points. So just throw that out there.
That's okay.
They won, didn't they?
Is that right?
They are better than the Colts, so that's all that matters. Let's go.
Yeah.
Next game, that Saturday night game. The 49ers come to Lambeau, the frozen tundra, and they face the 13-4 Green Bay Packers. They got Green Bay -6 right now. This game will be on Fox, 7:15 kickoff. And we'll have Zach kick us off here too with the Packers, being a Packer fan.
I think if I wasn't a Packer fan, I'd pick the 49ers. But as a Packer fan, I have to pick the Packers. So I'm picking the Packers.
No,
That's my reasoning.
So if you were a neutral fan, you'd choose the 49ers.
Jared, how many times did you choose against the Colts?
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
No. I saw some people saying they'd rather play the Rams than the 49ers if they were a Packer fan. Like, I don't
I would.
Why? I don't see why.
I truly would.
I don't
Yep.
see
The
why.
49ers
All,
49ers are a physical team that they can run the ball. That's Packers' weakness. And the 49ers D-line is probably top 5, you'd say, in the league.
What about
top 10 for sure?
Hold on. Yeah, Zach. Well, we don't know right now about like Fred Warner. Nick Bosa's questionable. Jimmy G.
They both said they're good.
I think Fred Warner's playing for sure.
They said
Jimmy
they're
G
playing
is
for
playing,
sure.
but not at 100%.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. And then we still have Nick Bosa being questionable. They didn't have injury designation. I know those two guys didn't, but certainly still don't know with the game being a few days away. But Nick Bosa's status is huge.
I'm picking the Packers, so
I am too.
With Nick Bosa, it said he's like looking good right now, like he was heading towards playing, but I don't think it matters.
Still in
honestly,
concussion
I really
protocol.
don't. Okay, yeah, I don't think it matters. 2 years ago they got embarrassed, but like I don't care. I'm not even a Packer fan, and I can see Packers winning.
Jared's right here because a lot of people, including myself, have been talking about cannot be the 49ers, and I think everyone's been like so worried and stuff and thinking like, oh my goodness, it's the 49ers that, I think how it's going to work because how the sports gods do it to us. Like now we're going to see a 2-3 score game. Green Bay wins in a blowout. So, I mean, that's what I'm hoping for here.
And when's the last time the Packers have lost in a divisional round? Has it been 3-4 years? Yeah.
What if we see another Kyle Shanahan late game choke? I thought they were going to do it against the Cowboys. They could do it against the Packers this week.
That wasn't Shanahan, really. That was Jimmy G throwing a bad interception that set the Cowboys up.
But he's the coach, so he's going to get the blame.
This is true.
Just like, was the Super Bowl his fault? He was the offensive coordinator.
Okay.
But
all right. Now let's move to the Sunday games here. 2:00 game on a Sunday on NBC in Tampa. The Rams sitting at 11-6. Come off that big Monday night win. They go to Tampa and face the Buccaneers. Tampa is a 2.5 point favorite only. And that's, helps them out with being at home. So that's an interesting one there. What do you guys think on, we'll start with Jared here, Rams and the Bucs. What do you think? First thoughts.
Once again, I don't like the Bucs. I just don't like Tom Brady, but I don't know. I'm going to stick to it. I think the Buccaneers will pull this one out, even after watching the Rams win. The Buccaneers also convincingly won. So I like how the Buccaneers are continuing to play without, some key receivers.
I'll go then too. And yeah, I'm gonna go Bucs here with you. And it sucks. I want to pick upsets, but I think Tampa with their experience still without Godwin and and then also we have to still look, Tristan Wirfs and Ryan Jensen both are questionable for Sunday still. So that's certainly a factor too, but I'm still going to go the Rams here. They played well without, or not the Rams. Oh my goodness. I am still going with the Bucs here. Yeah, I know. I misspoke there. I'm still going with them. I was going to say though, with Keyshawn Vaughn really impressed me last week, and he's a guy I actually have on the Dynasty squad.
Is Fournette going to be back?
I didn't see anything that he was going to be.
All I'm saying is if he's not, I still like the run game.
Yeah. Well, Drew, you said you like picking upsets, but you're not picking any upsets, so I guess I'll have to pick upset for you. I'm taking the Rams. If you watched the game earlier in the year, I think it was like a 2-score game, but the Rams dominated that game. And I said it last week, I'm not a big Bucs fan this year with they've had a lot of injuries with their offensive weapons, and then obviously the whole AB situation. So I think Rams pull it out, and we get a Packer-Ram NFC Championship game.
That'd be good for
So
the
Zach's
Packers.
a Rams fan. Zach's a Rams fan now, huh?
Sure, you can call me that, I guess.
Let's call them
It's
that.
the LA teams.
Yeah.
And the Marlins. They still have a special place in Zach's heart. Okay.
Of course, always do.
Sunday game, last one. Bills go to Kansas City to face the Chiefs, the 3 and the 2 here. And this game, 5:30 on CBS. Kansas City coming in 1.5 point favorites. And this game certainly, I think, is going to be the best game of the weekend, in terms of just like look at this matchup. I think it certainly has what it takes to be that. And oh boy. So I guess I'll start. Yeah, I'll do it. So this is going to be an interesting one, as I mentioned. And Josh Allen coming off that exciting game. And, Patty Mahomes and how they've performed this year, they've certainly picked up in the second half, how they should have been playing. But, I'm going to go Buffalo here. This can be, my upset. Yeah. Not because Zach influenced me to pick an upset. It's just this Bills team, looking what they did to the Patriots, really, opened up a lot of eyes, and including mine. So I'm going to go with them here. And hopefully we see then a Bills-Titans championship, because hopefully, those two teams haven't made it to the Super Bowl in a while. So I think that'd be certainly good to see out of the AFC.
Well, I guess everyone knows who I'm picking. I picked the Bills to make the Super Bowl, so I think I got to kind of pick the Bills here, but I'm going to go a little bit farther. I think they dominate the Chiefs, 31-17 game.
Okay.
That opened Jared's eyes.
Yeah. I guess we all have an upset then. I have the Bengals over the Titans, but it's gonna be a good game. But I'm gonna go against you guys. I'm gonna say the Chiefs win this game in a shootout. I would think that I don't know. Both great teams. I could go either way, I think, but I'm just gonna lean towards, Mahomes, just with the experience. I'll go Chiefs in like a 3 to 5 point game here.
I think Mahomes throws at least one pick, and it's going to be a crucial point in the game. It's going to be Poirier or Micah Hyde.
Oh, here's
those
Zach.
two safeties. So
if you got sleeper, if you see the Mahomes interception line, you heard it here first. What Zach said, take the over, so you take the under.
Also
over.
take Dawson Knox receptions. He's getting a lot of targets.
I agree. This is gonna be a fun week for sleeper on the squad. So make sure to join our squad still. Link, we'll send it to you guys if you message us personally or any of our socials. So make sure to do that as well. But that kind of rounds out the week, the divisional round picks here. And Zach, was there other things you want to touch on here, like you said, with the GM vacancies?
we're just gonna kind of rank which GM vacancies we would take if we were a GM candidate, right? You got the Bears, Vikings, Giants, and Raiders. So I know the Vikings said they're looking for a GM before the head coach. So that really doesn't affect this at all, but it's just something they're doing. So is there a team that you guys would rather be a GM for than the other two?
I'll say right now, not the Giants and not the Bears. The other two are the top contenders, I think.
I'd still take Vikings. I think head coach and GM, I think that's the place to go. And I'm looking right now, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candidates for that spot. So I'll certainly, they got some guys from the Eagles, some guys from the Browns, 2 from each. So they've interviewed all of them except they're looking for the Buccaneers guy. They requested an interview. John Spytek.
Bulls or
no, Spytek.
For the GM. Okay.
Yeah, this is GM.
I was thinking you're talking head coach.
Nope. We're talking the GM vacancy stuff. And yeah, other than that, I agree with Jared. Then I think Raiders then is I think that one might be the second is the way to go. But those are 2.
I would probably say the Vikings first, just because they have talent on defense. They have the talent on offense. They just need a couple holes filled and a new coach. But then I would say it's close between the Bears and the Raiders. I'd say the Raiders have a slight edge, but if you're a GM, I think having a young quarterback, just kind of like I said with the head coach, it's just it's a major advantage. Because obviously Carr and Cousins, they'll be around for another 5-6 years or whatever, but Fields has another 15 years. So
I think the Bears are certainly, number 2 or I think those 3 are a lot closer than the Giants, because I think the Giants, think about the pressure, going into a market like New York, and the expectations, of course, for the Giants, who haven't been good in now over 5 years. So there's certainly a lot of questions going into an atmosphere like that. So certainly those other 3 to me would open my eyes more.
But hey,
maybe that's just
Giants, me. Go ahead.
Jose. Okay, maybe that's just me with the Bears. Like, I just don't see anything interesting in them, even like in their whole organization. I just, at this time, I know they're on the rise and everything with young receivers and everything, but I don't know.
Do you think the Bears will just find a way to mess it up or something?
Oh yeah, they always do. They had high expectations this year, and they had a worse season than last year. So I don't know.
I don't know if they had high expectations this year, but anyways, if you're going to the Giants, you do have 2 first-round picks, but that's QB situation. Yeah. I don't know if you trust Daniel Jones. I think one of the biggest things with the Raiders, though, is that head coach, because the players liked playing for Rick Bisaccia. So they played for him. He took him to the playoffs. I mean, is he going to stay, or is he gone?
I'm sure you guys saw this too with Bisaccia, with him actually writing notes or letters to each player on the team, thanking them for the ride this year. And I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is staged, whatever." But reports came out that it was, I believe, his daughter who took the photos? Someone in his family took the photos. It wasn't like this publicity stunt. It seemed it was more of just like this act of kindness that got out. So I was cool to see, and I really hope he keeps his job. I think he did a great job there in Vegas.
Yeah, I think he deserves it, filling in for Gruden like that. He did a good job keeping his team in the mix, and yeah, he seems like an overall nice guy. I mean, that doesn't really matter, but I think I like him with that job.
Yeah, I hope he gets another year, but obviously you never know. I think there's a lot of reports that was it John or Jim? John? Yeah, the Michigan one. That if he's offered by the Raiders, that he'll take that. So I feel like just because the experience coming with Harbaugh, the Raiders might look into that, but I would give Bisaccia another year.
Oh, it's actually Jim, by the way. Just wanted to correct
you. Jim?
I thought you were going to ask about, never mind.
About the Ravens? Nah, I think
they're going to ask about John Gruden. I thought that's what you're asking about. That sounds like John or Jim. I'm like, yeah, it's John. Okay, no.
Yeah,
that was what I was confused. So, okay. Yeah, it's Jim Harbaugh for the
There was something about Jay Gruden and coach. I think it might have been the Giants, but there's something about Jay Gruden, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Yeah. So with that, anything else, guys, you want to mention?
I think that's it.
Okay. So, yeah, as I mentioned already, if you want our Sleeper squad link, I'm sure they're going to do some giveaways on Sleeper. They did a Cooper Kupp. If he had 100 reception yards, anyone who had a parlay with Cooper Kupp got $10. He unfortunately did not hit it, but hey, they're going to probably do something fun for this divisional round weekend here. And yeah, so join our squad. Just any of our social medias, our Twitter at JD SportsPod, send us messages there. Jordan Drew _sports crew. That's the other way on Instagram. And then Facebook, Jordan Drew the Sports Crew, and YouTube, Jordan Drew the Sports Crew. So thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Jordan Drew the Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.